Sometimes it can take customers ages to pay their invoices. And let me tell you, that is not just because of financial issues. A huge reason is because putting in payment information manually can be really annoying. If you're using Business Central, QR Pay by Simova is the solution for that. With this solution, it's made super easy to just put a QR code on any invoice that your customer can just scan with their banking app in order to pay. It will enter all payment information into the banking app, and you simply just have to accept the payment and it is done. And all that in a fully secure and in a Europe widely accepted way. Today, we will show you not only how cool that is for your end customers, but also how you can set this up for yourselves in about 2 minutes. My name is Kevin, I'm the product manager at Simova, and you're probably wondering, what the hell is this man talking about? So let me explain it to you. A study that I will provide a link for in the description shows that there's a huge impact that QR codes have on purchase intention and on customer satisfaction on the basis of the perceived flow. In the end, to buy stuff, the flow of quickly being able to resolve a sales process by simply scanning a QR code is just something that everyone likes. It enhances the usefulness, the acceptability, the feasibility to the user, and thus simply increases the customer satisfaction. With QR Pay, the payment process can be done simply with a QR code, so that in a simple payment process, the satisfaction that I just talked about can be used by you in Business Central. You probably send out invoices, right? This is how an invoice can look with QR Pay, because this QR code that we see here has been added by the solution. Simply scanning this QR code with the banking app that you're using will fill all the payment information automatically. The easy integration is really what makes this tool so appealing. Let me set it up for you in 1 minute. No development needed and no complicated configuration needed at all. Alright, so what we have here is a Business Central system in which QR Pay has been installed simply from the app source. So you just go there, you install it from there, and you're basically ready to go. And all I'm going to do here is go to the module setup of QR Pay, and this is basically the only area for putting in data that we need, so that there's not much to it. And what I can do now is I'll select per line which report I want to put a QR code for payment to. In my case, I'll just make one line for the 1306, which is a standard sales invoice, but you can select any type of report you want to, and it will work with that. And the table number from which the data from the invoice of course comes, which is the 112. I just know it from my mind, but if I want to, I can also go into a full selection of any table that I want to. And the next thing that we need to do is fill some information for the banking app to know, of course, what data to send the payment to and so on. So it's some company information which I can simply fill from my standard company setup that I have with this functionality. So the basic configuration is done now. We can dive a little bit deeper now, but it's very easy and simple what we can do here as well. I have my basic data that I've seen before as well. One more thing that I need to do is under the purpose of use, put in the field from which my amount comes, which is then also entered in the banking app at the customer side. And what I'll do is enter the right amount field from the base table that we selected, which is the sales invoice header, of course. And I'll have the amount including VAT here, and this in the end needs to be paid. So fairly simple here as well. So let's proceed to the QR code settings themselves, because the QR code in its look and feel can vary, and you can select for your company how you want it to look in the end. If I click on test QR code here, it will generate the most basic version of how this QR code will look. And of course, this will not tell any customer to pay here. And for that, we have different layout options to, on one hand, make it look how you want to, and on the other hand, make it able to tell you that this needs to be scanned to be paid. For example, our option 2 will say scan to pay, and I'll click on test again and it will show me exactly that. Next up, I can upload a logo, which it will put in the middle of the QR code. So really cool to make it in your own corporate style and identity. So what I'll do here is simply just from my system, drag our logo on here. I've had it open on another screen, so don't be confused. So if I now click on test QR code again, you will see that it will generate the logo in here in the middle. Next up, if I want to, I could change the color of this QR code that we have here. We have a simple color picker here as well. So if I want to make it in like a lighter blue shade, I can simply select that here. And the QR code will then be in this shade. So let me click on test QR code again. And as you see, it changed the color of it as well. So in the end, everything around the looks can be exactly as I want to. And if I want another layout option, if I want to print something above, below, I can even go into a custom HTML layout option. Okay, but where now is this QR code placed that we see here? And for that, we can simply go into the report layouts that we have below here and select our report layout of choice. I'll pick the standard blue simple one, which is printed as a standard. And I could select X and Y coordinates here, which is not my preferred way of doing it. I want to have it a little more simple. And there's a really cool integration that we have here as well, where you can say place QR code, and based on a invoice that I select in my system, I can now place this QR code on my invoice wherever I want to. So you see you have it on the top left corner here, but if I, for example, want to have it down here, I can simply click here, click on OK, and now it will be printed at exactly that position. We can check that if we click on place QR code again. We again select an invoice. And this is exactly how my invoice will be printed now. So at exactly this point that we see here. So let me go demonstrate now to you if the QR code is actually printed where I put the position, just to have a full loop on the process and to actually see the invoice that is printed. So what I'll do now is I'll search for the posted sales invoices. I'll select a random one. And what I'm going to do now is hit print. And I'll have a look at what my system gives me. And as you see now here, we have this invoice with the QR code on here beautifully, exactly where I want it to be, in the style that I previously selected. And it says scan to pay, so that I know to whip out my banking app and to scan this. So all in all, you see how quickly that setup can be done for yourself as well. So actually within minutes, you can be able to utilize this yourself and give your business partners that really great look and feel within their payment processes. Trust me, saving time for your end customers is a great deal to them. So feel free to get started on your own within Business Central.